Dispensationalism, as we understand it today, is a 19th century, phenomenon. And people say, well, what's dispensationalism? Dispensationalists hold that there are two peoples of God. There is Israel, and then when you get into the New Testament, there's a new thing because Israel rejected Jesus as the Messiah. Well, as we saw, the Jews didn't reject Jesus as the Messiah. The first converts were, in fact, Jews, thousands and thousands of them. And the dispensationalists claim there's two peoples of God. God works with Israel one way, and he works with non-Jews another way. And so what the dispensationalists have claimed is that there's Israel, and then there's this thing called the church. And what the prophecy clock stopped when the religious leaders, what they would say the nation of Israel rejected Jesus as the Messiah. And so we're in what is today called a parenthesis. And God is then going to deal with Israel sometime in the future again, after the church is taken off the earth in what is called a rapture. There is nothing in the Bible to support that view. It's completely made up. There's not a single verse in the New Testament that says anything about a temple being rebuilt.
Right.
You don't find it anywhere, or circumcision being reinstituted. And Paul makes a huge effort, puts forth a huge effort in the book of Galatians and other places, where circumcision is no longer a factor. It's part of the whole old bloody sacrificial system of the Old Testament, which the book of Hebrews shows has been done away with the sacrifice of Jesus.
Yeah.
And so there is no distinction between Israel and the church. The church isn't anything new. It's unfortunate that when they translated the Greek word ecclesia as church, where William Tyndale in his translation translated it as assembly or congregation. It's not anything new. It's a common word. Ecclesia is a common word. It was a common word under the Old Covenant, the Old Testament, when it was translated into Greek. The first believers were Jews who made up the ecclesia in Acts chapter 5, and again in Acts chapter 8. And so this idea that there are two peoples of God is destructive of the Bible.
Yeah.
To the Jew first, Paul writes. The gospel came to the Jew first. Jesus in Matthew 20, in chapter 10, says, you will not finish going through the cities of Israel until the Son of Man comes. And they were only to go to the cities of Israel. They weren't supposed to go to the Gentiles. Why? To the Jew first.
Yeah.
And then once the gospel went to Israel, Gentiles were grafted in to an already existing, believing Jewish or Israelite church. There's the dividing wall between Israel and non-Israelites was broken down. Ephesians chapter 2. There's only one people of God. There aren't two.